We all have to go through the pain and the journey of working out what looks good and what doesn't look good when we first start making our DIY videos. Today, I wanted to cover the 4 most common mistakes that I see people make when they jump into making videos for the first time, so that you can make your videos go from this to this. Hey, it's Nick from No Time, Money or Skill here, the place to come to learn everything about making great looking, amazing looking, amazeballs DIY videos. Let's go with that for the new slogan. Probably until you're experienced in making videos and you don't have to rush through the settings on your camera or your smartphone too often, you focus on getting the settings on your camera or smartphone right. And so you don't often think about where you're plonking the camera down, what you're actually doing to compose your frame. And so this first tip refers to what I like to call camera wonkiness. That's a scientific term. But what it refers to is how straight, how in line your camera frame is in relation to the environment that you're actually filming in. What does that mean? Well, if you're in a room or filming with desks and tables and chairs, it means that the lines that should be vertical do actually appear vertical. The lines that should be horizontal are flat. So your table isn't at an angle. Now, when you're filming outside, that can become a lot more difficult because the ground you're setting your camera up on isn't always even, especially the thing you're filming in the background, or the hill down the way just doesn't actually look level. And so sometimes you'll end up leveling out your camera so it's technically level where you are, but you look at the horizon and it's shifted. So you really just need to start looking for things that you feel should be either completely straight and vertical or completely straight and horizontal. My wrist nearly didn't bend that way. If your camera enables it, frame guides can be quite useful to help determine what's straight within your frame. But as a general rule of thumb, you should be pretty vertical. You shouldn't be leaning on an angle one way or the other. Now, a lot of video tripods, which are probably at the higher end of support for your cameras, do have level bubbles that are really useful to kind of finding exactly that level point. But again, it's interesting that depending on the ground you're on, you might find that level point and realize that, well, hang on, a wall in my house is actually wonky. Or the floor is on an angle. So make sure just to evaluate yourself on camera, the environment around, just to even out that wonkiness. Tip number 2 has to do with your background, what your camera sees. Your videos essentially represent your personal brand, and what we see a lot, or a few mistakes that we tend to see, is that people put time and effort into making themselves look good on camera, and they don't think about what their camera can see, because you've got to think about the frame as a whole. So when people look over your shoulder and they can see yogurt pots, coffee cups and banana peels, all because you put a all-nighter in thinking you'd be super productive, but end up watching Snowpiercer, the series on Netflix, and then watching Snowpiercer, the original film, and comparing the two, it obviously might not represent your personal brand in the best way it can. Okay, I think we're good now. So when you set up, make sure you have a look and really study what your camera can see, because if your camera can see it, your audience can see it, and you want your video, your space, your background, your set, whatever you're calling it, your cupboard under the stairs, you want it to look as good as possible. Lighting yourself on video actually does a pretty cool thing. It actually helps pop you out of the video itself, because generally speaking, you'll have a video light close to you and it doesn't reach the background or your walls, whatever it is behind you, as bright. Now, when you're first starting out, often you're either starting with some very low cost video lights, or which is fine, or you're just harnessing room lights or the window and just setting yourself up near one of those available sources. Again, this is fine. It's the super budget DIY way to do it. But if you're filming at night, then you've got to start using these yucky downlights, which if you know me, you know I try and avoid like the plague. If you're next to a window, then you can get great light coming through and lighting your face really nicely. But what happens if the sun on a cloudy day actually takes a break behind the clouds and suddenly the brightness level, it starts to dip up and down on your video? That can affect the kind of overall consistency of your video. Or at nighttime, then you only have the yucky house lights to rely on. So I would actually suggest invest in some kind of lighting, because it's one of the biggest missed areas when it comes to DIY video when you're first starting out. You can invest in things like ring lights, you can, like so popular in vlogs, you can invest in beauty lighting or soft box studio lighting, an LED panel, there's all sorts. You can even get these tiny LED panels these days, which are absolutely tiny and do an okay job. That's absolutely fine. But invest in some kind of lighting, even if it's just one light like I'm using today. It's just something to help bring the consistency up and across multiple videos. Now, if you want a tip on how you can improve any existing lighting you've got, and you're not quite happy with the lighting you've got currently, I've got a previous video I recorded. I'll put a link in the description for how you can improve your lighting for less than $5. The last tip I have for you, probably no surprise for some of you, is to do with audio, because it is 50% of any video, right, is the vision and the sound. So if you're up close talking to your camera, it probably won't matter, but as soon as you start taking a few steps back, you'll start to hear the room. This is echo, also known as reverb, and it makes it harder to concentrate on the person in front of camera. Or you might have to get up close and personal, Blair Witch style. That's the only way that they're gonna hear you clearly. Or you can actually get microphones that plug in directly to smartphones or video cameras like this one. So get the audio right and you've got 50% of the quality of your video already sorted. So there you go, 4 of the biggest mistakes I see beginners making when it comes to starting with DIY video, and hopefully that breaks down exactly how you can overcome those challenges. What did you think? What barriers do you run into when you're making your DIY videos? Let me know with a comment below. If you're interested in actually making better videos, then we've provided an incredible resource for you. It's an ebook with over 30 pages of insane value from myself and Shay, the co-founders of No Time, Money or Skill. We combined have 14 years experience in video production world, and we want to give as much of it to you as we can. So follow that guide to instantly make better videos. Link is in the description to download, and it's free. All right, thanks for watching this video. If you liked this, please give us a like. Consider subscribing if you want some more tips on how to improve your DIY videos. And as always, we look forward to seeing what you shoot. See you next time.